Hi, welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz, your guide on this journey on this channel. I want to say, first of all, thank you so much for such a positive response to the human design profile videos. I know, obviously, if this is your first time, welcome. But the last time I put out videos, I said that I was going to be focusing more on the human design profile readings versus doing both those and the zodiac sign readings. And I also said that was just the guidance that I received, basically. So I feel like, it's following my strategy and authority, following that feeling. So, that's what we do, even if it doesn't make sense to us. So there is a link in the description below if you don't know your human design profile. Even if you don't know anything about human design, this isn't necessarily to teach you about human design or, kind of be so advanced that you don't get it. This is more just message by profile because it's just an added element, a different way of receiving messages outside of your sun, moon, rising, right? So it is still about the tarot message. And of course, I do generally give some sort of blurb about each profile before we begin. So with that being said, we're using the Oracle of Destiny and the Muse Tarot today. I was kind of like, for a couple days, I was just kind of like whining to myself because I haven't bought any new decks and I can't even tell you how long. But then I was reminded that I had bought this deck and another one these were probably the last, this deck and the other one is probably the last decks that I bought. And I just kind of put them on a desk out of the way and totally forgot about them. So I was glad that it, kind of presented itself like, hello, I'm here, I'm new. So we're going to use it and the Muse. What was that? The World? Oh, that was the Wheel. Interesting, because I've seen that a lot lately. Anyway, let's get into it. All right, so you guys waited until the very last. I still, if you've been here for a while, there was a time where I was using a bowl to like choose the order of things. And I still use the bowl. I just don't do it on camera anymore. But you guys and the 6-3s were the last two. Which I just find so interesting because you guys are the first in the profiles. It starts at 1-3 and it ends at 6-3. So I just kind of find that interesting that, I don't know, that you guys were last and you just so happened to be the first and the last in, that order. So anyway, I like to have some sort of something about your profile to share with you. And this time I found this back in July, and unfortunately the creator doesn't have their name or handle on the pictures, so unfortunately I can't credit them. I would love to, but it's called the 12 Archetypal Defense Mechanisms of the Not Self series, which I think is so interesting because we usually talk about like the positive attributes of, each profile or each line, but we don't generally talk about the not self or like the shadow side of each profile. So let me know if this sounds like you. It says they are insecure about feeling ashamed. They try to make things right in order to feel more secure about themselves, only to find that they make more mistakes and consequently feel more insecure. Their defense strategy is to bury themselves in whatever they do. So yeah, does that Does that sound like you? Because, you know, that first line is all about like finding your sense of security and your knowledge and what you know and research or whatever, right? And the third line is about trial and error and making mistakes and making and breaking bonds, you know, bumping up against life. So it's kind of, you know, taking that information that you learned in your first line, but then you also have to put it into some sort of practice and see what works. See if it does work, you know, and if it doesn't, is there a way that it does? Right? So, you know, there can be a lot of insecurity with that. And of course, like the mistakes can make you feel ashamed or insecure. So yeah, you know, again, if that sounds like you, let me know in the comments. So let's get your oracle. We have humidity, and it went flying off the table. So maybe you need to travel to somewhere that is humid. I don't know. Because like I said, it literally just went flying onto the floor. This almost kind of feels very like Pisces a little bit, specifically. But we'll read from the book on that. Maybe even just being by water in some capacity, because there is a stream there. You know, and if you are in a place where it is humid, you know, then obviously maybe you need to travel to a place that isn't. Let's get your tarot out. We have the Strength card. We have the Six of Swords. We have the Page of Materials. I'm just kind of chuckling because the Six of Swords also talks about travel, or it can talk about travel. And okay, I don't know why your cards are just like flying all over the place. Okay. And, you know, they're also like crossing over water here. So it could even be long distance travel. It doesn't have to be, of course, you know, I mean, it can be even just traveling to an area that has water, you know, go sit on a beach for a second. We have the Two of Voices, we have the Death card, and we have the Seven of Pentacles, which is kind of interesting that it's paired with the Page of Pentacles, and we have the Page of Inspiration. Three of Pentacles, the Fool, and then the Page of Swords. Lots of page action. Okay, so let's read about humidity first. It says, aspect of the hand. If we imagine our hand as the surface of a living world full of underground rivers, the presence or absence of moisture on the palm is indicative of that invisible place. The rivers that flow within us are streams of emotions. When they surface up in our physically perceptible body part, they can tell us more about our emotional level. Sometimes they reveal simple anxiety, like when we have sweaty palms before an exam. Other times they tell us that we are not managing our emotional side as we would like to, or as we imagine it to be socially acceptable. Divinatory meaning: are you afraid to show how you truly feel, of being judged as not appropriate for a situation? Imagine that your job is to carry a lit candle from the other side of a lake. That lamp is your emotions. Protect the candle. Don't let it fall into the water. That's interesting. And honestly, not at all where I thought that that was going to go. Huh. And especially too, like the only water card that we have out here is the death card, which is Scorpio. And I just discovered in the last reading that I did that Mars is in Scorpio right now. So it kind of depends on like where Scorpio is in your chart, but you might just be feeling, kind of some Mars energy there. Mars is all about motivation. It's going to, kind of push you a bit too, which can sometimes feel uncomfortable. But anyway, let's start at the beginning. We're kind of getting ahead of ourselves. So we start with strength, which is the card of Leo. And, strength is more about like perseverance, kind of having to remain strong, finding strength within yourself type of vibe. And even, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but my attention keeps getting drawn to, she's holding an infinity symbol that's made out of dots. And, it just kind of has this feeling of like this never ending thing, because that's what I think like with the infinity symbol. It just, it's like the energies just kind of keep going. So maybe, like you feel like you've been in this kind of perpetual state of like having to be strong. I mean, it can be survival mode. Because, I mean, she's sitting on top of this lion here. So it's like, have you been allowing yourself to be guided or like allowing yourself to be carried in some capacity where, like you're present, but you're more passive? And maybe that's because do you feel a little burnt out? It could even just be that you've been waiting for something, like maybe you've just been waiting for clarity, because it is paired with the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords usually talks about like indecision, not knowing what to do. We start with the Ace of Swords, which is, a new idea. It could be discovering a new truth. It's obviously something new with it starting with or being an ace. And then we move on to the Two of Swords, and it's like, all right, so now what do I do with that? And sometimes, there's resistance to wanting to make a decision, but it does feel like, it kind of feels like, like you're, especially with the Humidity card coming out, and it's talking about like protecting your emotional state and also even communicating that, right? Because I think it mentions something along the lines of, are you communicating how you feel? Are you expressing your feelings, or are you, dealing with them, trying to kind of like muscle through them a bit because you don't want to be judged, or because you don't, like even just maybe you don't even want to engage in confrontation in some aspect, because that would even be like the Two of Swords, because we can see this person is walking towards this arch here, right? And on the other side, it looks like, I don't know, it almost looks like fireworks, but it's also, I believe it's like outer space. So it could even be a star. I don't know. But, there's kind of this illusion here. There's these two people that, are looking in opposite directions. Again, like kind of getting that avoidant feeling. This could even just be saying too, to like find that strength, to because you have it, of course you do. Hello. To make a decision. And especially with the Six of Swords being after it, both of these being swords cards too. So this is very much about your mind. It's very much about the way that you are thinking about your situation. It's also about like, is what you're thinking about the situation true? Like objectively true? Or is it like, because I kept looking at, there's this pyramid here, there's a triangle here. I mean, clearly they are different, like made out of different things. But, I was kind of even getting like making a mountain out of a molehill type of thing. It could even be changing your scenery. Again, like I was saying, like maybe even traveling, like just changing your environment in some capacity, even short term, right? Like it just kind of helps you. It like breaks your pattern. It breaks the monotony, right? Because even the Six of Swords, again, like I was saying before, it is about moving forward. It could be traveling, but there's also, there's these three swords here, or spikes, I guess, and there's this being that is allowing passage here. Like they are the bridge so that you don't have to traverse these spikes. I mean, this could be you, it could be somebody else. This could be you, this could be somebody else, right? But the Six of Swords is all about moving out of this energy, because it talks about, like in the traditional tarot, they're on a boat and they're in choppy waters and they're moving forward to more peaceful, more calm waters, which, I mean, does have to do with our emotions because it's water, but also, with swords, it is about our mind. So it's how we are perceiving our emotions and how our thoughts affect our emotional body, right? Like it affects how we feel about things, how we are thinking. It's all connected, right? So I love that these two, they come out the way that they did, because this sense of like indecision, or just being, in this kind of, having to wait it out or kind of muscle through it. There's this energy here about making a decision to move forward, do something about it, literally, with this card. And even too, like putting this like pyramid or this triangle, whatever it is, it's like putting it behind you. Because with the death card says that every new beginning disguises itself as an end. So it's recognizing that there is something that needs to come to an end in order for something new to begin. It's also interesting to me too how even just the vibe of the cards change after the death card. Like these are more vibrant. Obviously, I think the florals help with that. But these cards over here just feel more muted. There's not any, flower or like life, like I'm thinking, of course, like plant life type of thing in these cards. And, death is more about rebirth than it is about, the actual death part. It's not, it's not actual, death. Like I said, it is just recognizing that there is even a behavior, a thought pattern, a way that you feel about something, that the energy is available to move beyond it. The energy is available to transform that, or even just start a new pattern. Even transforming a relationship by having conversation, crossing, a bridge that maybe you've been, hesitant or resistant to do. Because again, right, even going back to this Humidity card, like being worried about how your emotions were going to be received. And then we have these two Pentacles cards. Pentacles have to do with our money, how we get it, how we save it, how we spend it. It's our time and energy. Like, what are we spending our physical time and energy in or on doing? It's also our physical health. I mean, it's literally anything in the 3D. It could be your house, it could be your possessions, anything that has value or worth, kind of attached to it. And the Page of Pentacles is about, like, it's the card of the apprentice. It's like it's starting something new. You've already had the Ace of Pentacles. Like, they have the Ace of Pentacles. The opportunity is already, kind of shown up. And the Page of Pentacles is like when you start putting it into practice, or you start researching, you start trying. It's like, being the new person at the job type of thing. It could even be a new course of study if you are in school or looking to be in school. It could be, just a new interest or hobby showing up. But it is allowing yourself to be the newbie. But with it coming after this, it's kind of like whatever this situation is for you, after this Death card, there is an opportunity to start something fresh. I'm even like feeling I keep looking at these two roses here, and it's like this feeling of being inspired by something. And then with the Seven of Pentacles, it's like focusing your time, your physical presence, your resources into that thing. There's also like this patience aspect that goes into the Seven of Pentacles, because it's like, you plant a seed in the ground, and it's not just going to sprout overnight, right? I mean, like, you have to water it every day. Like, eventually it is going to sprout, and then maybe you have to prune it in order to, like, encourage growth or new growth, right? I mean, like, it's really about like focusing your attention, your time, your physical presence into a project in order for it to grow to the point of being able to harvest it, or being able to like get good at it. It's also, it's very much like 1-3 too, because it's like, like having the knowledge, or like researching a thing, right? And then it's like putting that thing into practice and seeing if it works. And if not, trying something else, like switch it up a little bit. And then we have the Page of Inspiration at the bottom of the deck, which is the Page of Wands. Wands are about action. It's the motivation behind the actions that we take. It's creativity, passion. How are we communicating those things? What actions are we taking towards those things? And again, with it being a page, it's, like, it's very curious. There's an adventurous kind of quality to it. There's also even like a fun element to the Page of, because, like, there's this desert looking environment back here, but this person, like, their hair is rainbow. They've changed the color of the ground here to pink, and there's this burst of color up here, which is interesting, because even in the Two of Swords, I was looking at this kind of burst or starburst or whatever that is, fireworks, a star, I don't even know what it is, but here it is though. So it's kind of like you reached that point. Maybe you feel inspired to try new things. Maybe even too, it just, kind of, whatever this Death card is, whatever this Death card does for you, it does, like, it's like it releases the energy that's been, either blocked or stored up, or just, has been muted in some aspect, because now it's like, okay, maybe I actually do enjoy the work that I do, or I do enjoy researching this thing, or whatever it is, right? But it's almost kind of like finding the fun in the thing again. There's a Three of Pentacles, which is collaboration and working with others. These paths are all braided here. So it could even change the way that you interact with others, how you work with others. It could even create opportunity to work with other people in some aspect. And then we have the Fool card, which is a new start. It's taking a leap of faith, climbing even the ladder, because there is this ladder here. So it could, again, right, it could create opportunity to work with other people. But there's this aspect of, moving up a ladder. The page of Swords, putting new ideas into practice, being, like some sort of new inspiration here, seeing things clearly too, because I'm always drawn to this person's glasses. They're coming up like out of the mountains. Mountains in tarot represent like the journey, ebbs and flows. The Justice card and the Six of Wands. So yeah, it's like, things are balancing out here. Karma, the Six of Wands is victory, it's success, it's recognition. It's also like, coming out of like victory, or coming out of a battle or some sort of like competition or whatever, but it's coming out of that victorious. Very interesting. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.